Hello, warrior goddesses. HeatherAsh Amara here, and welcome to day 2 of summer camp, our first ever virtual warrior goddess summer camp. So happy to be here with all of you. And today we are talking about how to play with your disaster mind. So if you are new to Hey, hello from Pennsylvania. So for those of you that are sharing and saying hello, put your name in because your name isn't showing up. It shows up to us as Facebook user. So I would love everybody who's here. Hello from Austin, Texas. Hi, sweethearts. So as you join, please feel free to chat and share your name and where you're tuning in from. That would be great so we can pull our circle together. Thanks to Rachel for doing an incredible yoga class this morning. Serena did a fabulous, hey Sharon, a fabulous early morning meditation. Good. Hey Valerie, glad you're loving camp. Hey Andy from North Carolina, welcome. I am tuning in live from not Las Vegas, New Mexico. I am in Cerrillos, New Mexico. I have a couple places here. Hey Deirdre from Baltimore. So I'm going to share a little bit about playing with disaster mind, and then I'm going to do my best to take you guys outside because it's an incredible day here at the Garden of the Goddess where I'm staying right now. Hey Clyde from Illinois, Kathy Ruiz from Converse, Texas, welcome. Hey Spring, Sue Reed from Seattle. So we have all given ourselves camp names. So my camp name is Spruce, and I'll tell you why in a second. Good morning from Kansas City. Hello. So you're also welcome to share your camp name if you want to. Hey, Luz from California. So I'm going to start off our talk today by reading out of Warrior Goddess Wisdom. And I pulled a quote for us today. So this is number 39. The best thing you can do is master the chaos within you. You are not thrown into the fire. You are the fire. Mama Indigo. I love this quote. I used to hate chaos because it meant that no matter how carefully I had planned things, they'd gone completely haywire. What I've come to find now, though, is that chaos is the universe's way of reminding me that I am not in control. When you embrace chaos as it arises, you are learning how to surf the waves of life rather than getting swamped by them. That is what mastering the chaos is about. Chaos teaches us to let go in ways that few things can. When we take the spirit of surrender into chaos, we are bringing the fire of transformation from our very being into the world. When we loosen our grip on our plans, we open ourselves up to the best possible outcome. Today's action. One way to find out what you're trying to control is by doing a body scan. While thinking about things going on in your life right now, notice if you start clenching your jaws, tensioning your shoulders, or fidgeting in your chair. When you notice tension, stop and face the situation. Rather than trying to control it, bring the spirit of surrender to your body and the situation. Breathe and let go. So let's play with that this morning. Yeah, you just get to pick your own camp name, which is super fun. Camp name Boho Cat. I love it. Dragon. Sunshine. Good. So our intent with summer camp is to play and to really also, one of the things I'm going to be talking about this morning is this idea of surrendering, of learning how to work with your disaster mind and play rather than feel buried by it. So I came up with the name Spruce because there is a huge spruce tree outside of the place that I'm living at right now. And there's an incredible hailstorm yesterday and knocked a bunch of branches off. And the smell of that tree was so yummy. So hence Spruce, Dancing Warrior, Spring Flower, perfect. So this book is Warrior Goddess Wisdom. This is the 4th book in the Warrior Goddess series. So for those of you that are new, the first book you want to read is Warrior Goddess Training. That's the first book. There's a companion book. There's Warrior Goddess Way, and then this is Warrior Goddess Wisdom. This is a good one to start with as well because it's It's just daily reminders, basically. Hey, Candace. Puma, I love it. Mary Mariposa is currently in Pennsylvania. So welcome, sweetheart. So glad to have you here. What is disaster mind? So disaster mind is the term that I use for the part of our mind. It was number 39, I think. I'm pretty sure, 39. Your disaster mind is the part of you that goes into the past and worries about what happened in the past, or beats yourself up for the past, or worries about the past. Or your disaster mind goes into the future and worries and has anxiety about the future. Most of us, our brains are a disaster. And I say that with great love. Most of us, our brains are really chaotic. We're jumping constantly past, future. We're very rarely in the present moment. Now, if you think about a puppy, this is my best metaphor for our mind. One of them, there's a lot of metaphors, but this is a good one. Imagine a puppy, and the puppy's kind of out of control and running all over the place. If you judge the puppy, beat the puppy, try and squelch the puppy, it doesn't go well. Because puppies are just naturally flamboyant, playful. They're always, you know, they don't know things yet. So they pee wherever they want to. They poo wherever they want to. They chew things. Okay. They're just being themselves. And your disaster mind is the same way. It's just doing what it knows how to do. It hasn't been trained yet. Our job is to train the puppy. And our job is to train our minds. And how we do that is through love and play. When I had a horse, I used to be a big horse person. And actually, when my summer camp days were in Thailand, in a little place called Kanchanaburi, where there was a horse camp, basically, the Camp River Kwai, right by the River Kwai, that's been made famous by the war. And in that camp, I was a counselor for 3 summers, and taught kids how to ride horses. It was amazing. And we did a whole bunch of other stuff. And because of my background with horses, when I came to the United States and went to college, I had a horse and then I had a foal. So my horse had a baby. And I completely ruined that horse, that baby. I did not train it well. I was trying to be friends with it. I was trying to be too nice, and then I would be too harsh. And it was a disaster. I was young. I was in my 20s, and I didn't know what I was doing. So fast forward about 20 years, and I was very conscious I had ruined the horse, and I was always like, how do I do that different? How do I So I got a dog. And I remember talking to my partner at the time, and she said, and I'm like, I'm going to train this puppy. And she's like, you don't have any training. And I'm like, I ruined a horse. I have all the training I need. And it was amazing because I had learned, and I did a bunch of research, and I learned about this technique that's called clicker training. And it's very relevant to us and our minds. So I'm going to tie this all together. Clicker training. What clicker training is that you reward the good behavior. So whenever your animal, and you can train any animal, you can train yourself, does something that you like, you click and you give a treat. And pretty soon the click is associated with the treat. Dogs, horses, humans, we love playing and learning new things, and it develops our brain. And so when you clicker train a dog, they learn, oh, this is fun. And you work together to try for them to figure out what you want them to do, and for you to figure out how to convey to them what you want them to do in a loving, playful way. And it becomes this amazing game. And what I watched with my dog as I was training Inti is that, who's now passed, but he grew to be more and more still. Like in the beginning as a puppy, he couldn't sit still for very long. He didn't have the capacity, the attention to do that. And so we would do little games with each other, so that like he would sit for a half a second, and then I would release him, and then we would have a big celebration. I would teach him how to lay down, and we would hold for 2 seconds, and then we'd have a big celebration. And over time, he was able to sit for longer and longer periods of time. He was able to do more and more things because his brain grew and got more, he was able to hold more complexity and more stillness. And it's the same thing with your brain. Your brain, if you haven't trained your brain, if you haven't really started playing with your brain and it's just been disaster minding all over you, it's been pooping and peeing everywhere, it's been creating chaos in your house, it's going to take time to retrain it. And make it a game, make it play rather than the serious, my brain is bad, or the way I'm thinking is wrong, and I shouldn't be judging myself, or I should be more loving, or I shouldn't be thinking about the past all the time. Let me punish myself. Doesn't help. Instead, hello, little brain. Come back. Come sit with me right here in the present moment. And what happens is as you start directing your disaster mind to come into the present, it starts to rest. And what I call this is that disaster mind starting to rest into your heart. And it starts to trust your heart so it can get quiet. It can start to get still. Why is your disaster mind? Why does our mind judge, compare, feel victimized? Why do we make up these stories that cause us harm? Why do we beat ourselves up? It's because we were trained to do that. We don't know any other way. And because our mind thinks, that disaster mind thinks it's keeping us safe. So its thought is, if I just look at all the things that went wrong in the past, maybe I won't repeat them, and maybe I'll be okay and safe here. And if I worry about all the things in the future, maybe then I can somehow avoid them. Not helpful, though. So here's the thing about disaster mind, is that it actually does not help. Anxiety, worry, comparison, freaking out about things that aren't happening don't help. When you learn to catch your mind and then not judge it, just be like, oh, I just went into disaster mind about the future. Come back, sweetheart. And I always like to put one hand on my heart, one hand on my belly. Come back, sweetheart, right here. Everything's okay in this moment. And that you can play, how do you redirect your mind? So going back to clicker training, it's the same thing, is that you click whenever the animal is doing something that you want them to do. If they're doing something you don't want them to do, you redirect. Okay? You redirect. So redirection is if, like we're doing this with the cats right now, one of the cats, the male cat, his name is Romeo Apollo Savage is his full name. He has suddenly started biting. Like he's purring, and then the moment you stop petting, well, not even then, you're petting him and he turns around and he starts biting you. And it's not aggressive. It's, I love you so much, I'm going to chew on you. Because I watch him do this with his sister all the time. So what are we doing with him is no, like redirect. No, you can't. Moving the hand, like letting him know that's not how you play with humans. You can play with your sister that way, but you can't play with humans that way. So it's not punishment, it's redirection over and over and over again. And he's learning already not to do it. Same thing with your mind. Your mind's going to go in all sorts of directions. If you think about it as a puppy that you're training, you reward it when it's doing something you like. Like, oh, you're in the present moment. Good mind. Thank you. Pet your mind. And when it's running all over the place, where do you want it to put its attention? Where do you want to put your own attention? Where do you want your mind to be? So you start bringing your mind's attention, boop, back to where you want it to go. And it can be a fun game. It can also be incredibly frustrating, but that's up to you. Are you going to make it frustrating? Are you going to make it a game? That's where we have choice. Are you going to make it frustrating, or are you going to make it a game? It takes the same amount of energy. So when you bring your own compassion, presence, love into relationship with the part of your mind that wants to control everything, that's scared, that's comparing you, that is going into disaster mind, past or future, and you just say, come back, sweetheart, right here. So let's play with that together. As I read in Warrior Goddess Wisdom this morning about this idea of body scan, this is something I learned a while ago. This is a really simple technique to get us into the physical form rather than, okay, beautiful, thank you. So what ways find most helpful to redirect your mind? So here's one way, and then I'll share a bunch of others. So simple technique, body scan. Your mind is freaking out, and instead of following the train of where your mind is going, you stop and come back into your body. Okay, and yes, I'll share tips as well. So everyone now, close your eyes for a moment. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And just take a breath into your being. And very gently scan your body. Just notice where you're holding any tension in your body. Are there any places where you notice it's hard to get your breath all the way into your being? And just gently use your awareness to scan your body, your feet, your legs, your pelvis, just breathing into these areas. You don't need to try and change or fix anything right now. You're just noticing. Breathing into your torso. Breathing into shoulders and arms. And breathing into your neck and your head. So big breaths. Yeah, and it might take a while. So for some of you, you may notice it's easy to drop into what's happening in your body right now. For some of you, it may take longer. That's why I really like the hand on the heart, the hand on the belly, because it helps us anchor in this present moment, this present form, breathing. Anytime your mind comes in and starts talking to you, just release. Just, it's okay, sweetheart. Thank you. Just release. Come back into this moment. Okay, so body scan, that's one way to help you come into this present moment. Bring your disaster as a redirect. Here's another redirect. What phrase, what set of words, what sentence would help you stay in the present moment or would help soothe your mind? So if you could pet your mind and say something sweet to it, what does your mind need you to say to it? So it might be, we're safe, sweetheart. It might be, I am loved. It might be, peace is here. So feel into your being of what would best support your mind right now. Breathe into that. Just let me go shut the window really quick here. So breathe into that. Okay. So I just unplugged my camera. Into that mantra, now go ahead and open your eyes and go ahead and share. Changing my camera. There we go. Go ahead and share what your words were. So what were the words that helped ground you? I know, we all want quick fixes. I am safe, beautiful. I love you. I am here. Yes. Hi, Jenna from Indiana. I love you, babe. Beautiful. I am enough. So for those of you that are just joining us, we're just doing a little practice of coming back into the present moment, hand on heart, hand on belly, and then coming up with a phrase, a sentence, a couple words that would help us come into the center, come into our center, what our mind needs to hear, how we can pet our mind. Beautiful. I am happy, healthy, and peace, love, and healing. I am right here with you. Beautiful. This is just an experience. I love that. Yeah, I am here for you. You are doing a great job. I love you and I am here. I'm feeling emotional, so grateful for this community of warrior goddess women. Yeah, I'm so happy to have you here, sweetheart. I am loved. Yeah. So can you feel, can you feel the soothing? This is what we all get to learn how to do, self-soothe. Our disaster mind is going to take us into all of these scenarios of worst case scenarios, punish us for what happened in the past, which is already done, worry about what's going to come in the moment. And when we're full of disaster, when we're worrying, when we're beating ourselves up, when we're comparing, when we're thinking about the past, we don't have access to our creativity. We don't have access to our intuition. We don't have access to our knowing. And when you try and like push the mind down or punish the mind or beat yourself up for what you're thinking, it gets worse. It doesn't help because you're doing this. So this sweetness of, hi there, finding what would be soothing for you. Yes, I can. Courage moves me. All is well. Now, this isn't going to fix everything, but it's an incredible start. So this is a redirect. Scan, self-scan. Hi there. Breathe. Come back into the present moment. What's the phrase? Repeat that to yourself. Bring it in. Let your body know I'm here with you right now. So often, sweethearts, why we create so much hurt for ourselves is we're abandoning ourselves over and over again. We abandon ourselves when we judge, when we compare, when we criticize, when we feel victimized and we just let it run. You know, and there's always going to be spaces we feel judgmental, we feel victimized. Do you just follow that and keep building the story? Or do you go, oh, I'm feeling victimized right now. Hi, what do you need? Hey, sweetheart, you're feeling victimized. What can I do for you? How can we come back into the present moment? And as we do this, what happens is we start to heal. We start to heal because we're now in the present moment. We're listening to what we need and we start calling that in by giving it to ourselves first. Okay, that's the gift, giving it to ourselves first. And so there's a couple ways to work with your disaster mind. The other way is to do what I call, I'm trying to think of the word now, it just escaped me. Well, in the Toltec world, there's another word I'm thinking of, but in the Toltec world, there's something called stalking ourselves. And what we're stalking is our mind. And this practice is, if you imagine a cat that stalks its prey over time, it knows where it sleeps, where it feeds, what its patterns are. We're learning about the patterns of our mind, the patterns of your disaster mind. So to start being really curious and witness, where does my mind go? There's a difference between believing your mind, believing that disaster part of your mind, and witnessing it. And the first phase to healing it is to start to witness it, to be like, oh, okay, where is my mind going now? And then once you start to understand where your disaster mind goes, does it always go to the past? Does it always go to the future? Yeah, when I feel victimized, I get defensive. And that you practice not taking action from disaster mind. It's one of the best gifts you can give yourselves. When you're in disaster mind, when you're in big judgment or victimization or fear or worry, don't take actions. Come back, settle, watch your mind so that you can start to redirect your attention. Come back. Because what happens is the disaster mind is going to start pulling all these stories and yes, you get defensive, you start putting it on other people, you start beating yourself up. None of these are helpful for making good choices in your life. So we have to work to learn how to settle our disaster mind and to train it to sit, stay, come back, sit, stay, good mind. And you'll actually grow your capacity to be in more stillness, to pause when you're upset, to start to notice, oh, I'm going into disaster mind. Let me redirect my attention. You'll start to be able to have more capacity to go, no, come back here, sweetie. Okay. Takes time. So if you imagine how long you've probably been working out of disaster mind, you know that this is going to take a while, but it's possible. It's absolutely possible. It just takes retraining of your mind. Sit, stay. And you are really the only one that can do this. You can get a lot of tools and a lot of support. And when you're in a community of people that are doing the same thing, that are learning how to train their minds, it's much easier. It's much, much easier. But nobody can do it for you. It's a learning. Isn't the puppy analogy helpful? Yeah, love that puppy. Yeah, decades. We've been doing these patterns for decades. Exactly. So, you know, at a certain point in my process around my relationship with my mind and my old patterns, I had an aha because I realized I was really impatient. I was like, I want this to be fixed now. I've been doing it and I don't like it and I want it to be done. And one day I really realized, you know what? I've been doing this for years. Why would I expect to suddenly be able to change everything in a moment just because I'm now aware of what I've been doing? And I also reckon it's true for all of us. And it's not only me, the world around me, most of our world is in disaster mind. It's in fear and scarcity. Okay, so if you look at the media, what's the media reflecting? And especially right now, you know, and beloveds, we've got a road ahead of us because pandemic. In the United States, we have elections, and it's just going to get more intense between now and February, right? So keep coming back. The two warrior goddess kind of movements that I share with everyone is that warrior energy is this. It's coming back into this present moment, right here, right here. And the goddess energy and the warrior is about, commitment, presence, 100%. I'm here. The goddess energy is about opening, relaxing, surrendering, opening to that creativity and flow. So this is the movement. I sometimes like to wiggle. Okay. So we're bringing these two qualities in of our warrior focus and clarity and our goddess openness, creativity, flow. We need both. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I can talk myself into a bad outcome when it does not have to happen that way. Exactly. Disaster mind equals bad decisions. It's so true. And here's the thing, sweethearts. It's really true. When you're in disaster mind, you don't have all your capacity. You're shut off from your intuition. You're shut off from your heart and your deep knowing. You're shut off from your creativity. So when we come back into our heart, you may still make a bad decision. But there's a really big difference between bad decision because you're not paying attention and I made a mistake that's centered in your heart. And what I found is that when I make mistakes that are centered from my heart, it's easy to clean up because I know where I was. Okay. And You can just as easily, I love that, talk yourself into into good decisions. Exactly. If you get yourself calm and in the present moment. So use this analogy. Your mind is like a puppy. And that puppy, I'm looking up. I just realized I'm not sure what time I'm supposed to end, and I don't have anybody here to tell me. So let me go look this up really quick. I think I have until, I'm almost positive I have until 30. So I'm going to just take that true. So, hello, little puppy of my mind. And you will mature your mind. Just as a dog matures, it gets more still, it gets more able to listen, and it's fun. You know, animals love being in interactions with humans when humans are open-hearted and there's games. 14 minutes, thank you. Okay, good. So it is till, okay. So play with your mind. It's not your enemy. There is a lot of beauty in your mind. Your mind is probably just really chaotic right now because you haven't trained it or known how to train it. That's all, period. And know that most of the world right now is in scarcity and disaster mind. And it has been for a long time. Fear, scarcity, disaster mind. So I really, really support all of us. We're creating a new paradigm that's based in intuition, heart, creativity, clarity, surrender, and fluidity. And in order to anchor that in your body, we have to slow down and disconnect from how most humans are running around right now. So you really want to watch yourself. If you are eating too much social media or news and you find yourself going more and more into disaster mind, stop. Feed yourself things that nourish you. You know, there's a lot of junk food out there. And there's a lot of damaging things out there. And I'm not talking about physical food. I'm talking about the energies that we eat, the information that we take in. And you want to look, is this like sugar crack? Or is this like really yummy, organic, nourishing food? I don't believe that we should completely shut ourselves off from the world. We're in the world. But we can learn how to be so well nourished that we can hold steady when there's difficult times, when there's chaos, when there's challenges. And when we're steady in that way, we help everyone around us. The women that are part of the leadership team and that are presenting, some of the women that are part of the Warrior Goddess leadership team are camp counselors and are doing different offerings for summer camp. I invite you to really feel their energy, their stillness. They have done tremendous work. And all of us, what we're conveying through summer camp is the fun and the joy. You'll also see, if you watch, the stillness that each of us has because we've worked with our disaster minds. And because we were in community with each other, supporting each other and getting more and more still. And we have fun with each other. We don't, judge or point out each other's faults. We're like, hey, let's call each other in, love each other. This is hard work. So know that you are held here in a safe container to help to redirect your disaster mind, to help come more into the present moment so that we can be in joy, that we can be in love, that we can be so grateful for everything that we have, because we are so blessed. We're so blessed. And it is an honor and a gift for us to be alive in these times. Because even though these are difficult times, this is a time of great change. And if we can stabilize and vision possibility, if we can hold steady, then we can help be part of that change, whatever it looks like, right? Okay, I love this. And then please, everyone share. I'd love to hear just how do you feel about this idea of disaster mind, training your own little puppy, loving it, coming back? You still are in charge of making sure it doesn't create chaos. Okay. And when you stop creating chaos in your own life and externally, you can then more easily deal with the chaos that's out there, because there's chaos out there for sure. I see that I need to disconnect my victim who wants to be badass and stand up for myself by beating up others. Yes, that is what I call the empowered victim. So there's a quiz that we created for the warrior goddesses. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I'm trying to think of where it lives. But that quiz talks about warrior and goddess energy. And if we have an excess of warrior or a deficiency of goddess, because we can get out of balance. And when we're in a deficiency of goddess energy, we get into what I called empowered victim, where we're still victimized, but now we're like, I'm a strong victim. I'm never going to let anybody victimize me again. I'm going to punish you. And there's all this pent up energy that we then project outward. And so it's part of the healing process. But we also want to direct our mind of like, no, sweetie, I know you feel victimized and I know you now want to go punish other people that hurt you, but let's stop the punishment cycle. And all of us, we need to get out of the punishment cycle towards ourselves and towards other people. Doesn't mean we don't make boundaries. It doesn't mean we don't have consequences, but you don't have to create consequences out of punishment. You can create consequences out of love. Nope, this doesn't work for me. Here's the boundary. Same thing with the puppy, right? Exactly. Puppy analogy could also be parenting your own inner child analogy. Exactly. It's the same. It is absolutely the same. It is hard to be playful because of my mind, yet I'm opening to learning. I sang and laughed at the campfire songs last night. I loved that. Yeah, it takes practice. And that's why we're doing summer camp, is to practice play, to practice being in joy with each other, to be silly. You know, it was so silly last night. I loved it. And there'll be more silliness tonight. So there's this joy that we have to relearn, really. And if we were together physically, we would create this beautiful circle of joy. So we're creating that here. We're using what we have. And what a blessing that we have the internet and this way to connect. I love the reminder that we have choice. We truly do. You are describing what I've been struggling with these past few months. Disaster mind in the past and in the future. And then I create these stories, which then go into spin cycle. Totally. I love the simplicity of how to retrain, going from disaster mind to open-hearted awareness and love and present. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And if you all want more, if you feel like you want more support or you need more support, Warrior Goddess Training, super supportive. My newest book, Warrior Heart Practice, is a practice to help us untangle, to get back into right relationship in the present moment. So that's another resource. So I'll just write those two down. Now, in our last few minutes, and Warrior Heart Practice. I want to take you outside and share this land with you. I know, isn't the dragon, I have two dragons. Look, it's a rainbow dragon. Yeah, exactly. You might miss the magical dragons that are all around if you go into disaster mind. All right, so let's see if we can do this. Okay, I'm going to have to disconnect this. Is that true? Yes, I'm disconnecting everything. Is that okay? Yes, that's okay. Okay, turn on camera. There we go. Awesome. All right. So I'm taking you outside in our last 5 minutes. This is my little trailer. You guys can see the back, the behind the scenes. So right now, Serena and Tara and I are all at the Garden of the Goddess Ranch. Oh, look, they're up on the porch, or Tara is. Wave. You are live. So, and let me show you this beautiful place. Oops, I keep turning my camera off. There we go. Let's see. And then you're going to go on with Miss Serena, and there's Serena. So this ranch belongs to my friend Ginny Gentry. It is south of Santa Fe, New Mexico. This is our teaching yurt. And that yurt behind it is my yurt. Can't see? Why not? I wonder why. And then this is the ranch. These amazing rocks. And I'm going to walk you down here. Oh, we froze. Okay. Let me go back towards the internet. Okay, did it come back? La, la, la. Are we back? I hope so. Okay, let me go plug in back to the internet again. I'll share photos. Darn, so sorry. Oh, it froze a while ago. That's weird. Okay. Hopefully we're back. Okay, good. That's right. You guys are behind me. So I am going to close in 3 minutes. Good now. Okay, good. Excellent. All right, sweet ones. Okay, good. I'll post more photos of the ranch. And I think we're going to try and have a little fire tonight if it's not raining. So, okay, I'm back. Back, frozen again. All right, sweethearts. Some of you I'm frozen, some of you can see me. So, I will send outside pics. So I'll go ahead and post outside pics. Maybe I'll take a little video and post it. That's what I'll do. I'm going to go outside now, take a little video, and I'll post it on the Warrior Goddess women page, so your group, so you guys can see it. All right. Yeah. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining us for Warrior Goddess Summer Camp. More to come. There's a full day of programming today with all of our incredible camp counselors and Warrior Goddess from the Warrior Goddess leadership team. And I believe Serena's coming up next. Yes, you are so welcome, sweetheart. So happy to be able to share this. And again, huge gratitude to the Warrior Goddess leadership team for their incredible effort to make this happen. I did nothing. Basically, I was told, do this, do this, do that. I just showed up. So that was cool. So yes, I will share the videos, but these women have done an incredible job bringing you all the Warrior Goddess Summer Camp. So huge blessings and gratitude to them. Huge blessings and gratitude to you. Serena is coming up next for Adventuring in Art. And as she does that, I'll take a little video and I'll post it after her. Thanks for your staying out of our disaster mind that the technology is not working. Always play in that way. So Serena, Adventuring in Art, coming up next. Much love to each of you. Take good care of yourselves, and let's all take good care of each other as well. And take good care of your little disaster mind. It's struggling. Remember, the world's disaster mind is struggling right now. So it means we need to be extra compassionate and loving towards ourselves and to those around us. All right, sweeties. Bye.